Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Today we are on a budget. We're taking a look at 10 of the best blue fragrances that you can get today from discounters for next to nothing. The bargain bin blue fragrances. All of these are going to be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. Let's get things kicked off right away with Tommy Hilfiger's Impact, which is a little bit of a gimmick, this one, because if you get a 100 ml size bottle, it comes with I didn't pull hard enough, it didn't open. I pulled it a little harder, it flew all over the place. It comes with a little hidden sample spray inside the cap, which you should not open the way that I opened. I opened it like a caveman. But yeah, the cap has this little hidden compartment right there. And oh my God, I swear to you, my fingers function, okay? I can do things. It may not look like I can. Anyway, back to this one. You can get this for about 35 bucks from discounters, assuming that you're talking about the 100 ml size. You can get smaller ones, obviously for a little bit less than that, but they don't come with the gimmick. They come with just a standard cap. You don't want that. No, you want the hidden little spray thing. So this one has been by and large mainly overlooked, but it's actually super versatile, really easy to wear, and a nice modern masculine fragrance. You can easily wear this all year round. Spring, summer, fall, winter, doesn't matter. It's kind of a dry, woody scent with a bit of a sweet citrus over top. Also has really good longevity, this one, so that's another nice bonus. Lasts a long time. And it's got a little touch of classiness as well. So really versatile, and one of those ones that you could use really to the office, casually, or even more like semi-formal occasions, and it's gonna work well. And for the price point that it goes for, which again, like 35 bucks, actually smells really good quality. And again, if you wanna go even cheaper, just get a smaller size. Or I guess you could probably find a tester maybe for a little bit less. I don't know though, if the testers come with the little cap with the built-in thing in there, the little spray. I wouldn't think they would. So I just go full presentation. Before we hop to the next fragrance, here are some codes you can use to save money across different websites. And I want to highlight that the code GS11 for 11% off at fragflex.com is only good for your first order for any account in particular. So keep that in mind. If you try to use that for like your second, third, fourth order on an existing account, it won't work, but you can use the code GS10, which will get you $10 off any order over 99 bucks. All right, next up, we have Coach for Men. Super popular fragrance. Very, very, very affordable from discounters. Actually, one of the best selling men's fragrances, period. So we're talking retail. This one is a huge seller. So the fact that you can get this for way, way less than that if you're in the know and you shop at discounters is all the better. Another one that you can use practically anywhere. Big compliment puller. Presentation on this looks really cool. Built-in atomizer up top, as you can see right there, works pretty well. Other than I just did spray my finger. And this one has an interesting note breakdown. It has notes like pear and kumquat off the top, which you don't see paired up all that often, especially in men's fragrances. There's also bergamot, lavender, a little touch of suede, and ambergris in here as well. Like I said, this is one of the best bang for your buck cheapies that you can get as it pertains to blue fragrances or really versatile scents. And just in general, if you're looking for good cheapies that you can wear in lots of different occasions that people in general are going to love, Coach is a good brand to check out. Coach Platinum, Coach Green, even Coach Blue, for the price point that you can typically get them for, are all solid buys. But this one, the OG, that's the one that I would recommend first. All right, let's go Pepe Jeans up next. Look at this bottle. Looks like it should be a Paco Rabanne, but no, it's a Pepe. It has a martini shaker look to it, and this is the original Pepe Jeans fragrance, Pepe Jeans London, because this has spawned a number of flankers. And actually, some of the Pepe Jeans flankers are really, really, really good for the price point, if you can find them. So actually, they're good if you can find them for the price point that they used to be available for. I guess that's what I should have said. That just doesn't quite have the same ring to it though. So yeah, we're gonna stick for now with just Pepe Jeans for him. So this has pineapple, lavender, vanilla, and coffee as some of the notes in the fragrance. And it could remind you of a few different things out there, but it still actually just smells like its own thing. And that's really what's going on over here with Impact as well. So when you smell Impact, you might think, oh, I think I've smelled something like that before, but then you can't actually match it up with anything. You know, it doesn't smell the exact same as anything else, is what I'm trying to say. Same vibe with this one. So you'll see people compare it to things like Versace Eros, for example, or even some of the Polo fragrances, or like Invictus style fragrances, or just a bunch of other things. And it doesn't really smell like any of those. But you could say, you know, do you like that fragrance? Do you like that fragrance? Well, you'll probably like this because it has a similar sort of vibe to it, in the sense that it has that sweetness there from the opening into the dry down. It's a little bit fruitier initially when you first spray it on, then as it dries down, you know, it gets a little bit warmer with the sweetness. It has a nice little clean masculine edge to it as well from that lavender. And that could also be another thing where people compare it to Eros. Overall though, I think this is really solid for the price point. I mean, you would see this and possibly think, oh, it's like too kitschy, too tacky. You know, it's gonna be a super youthful fragrance, just you know, a headache inducer, that kind of thing. But actually, for the price, really good. Compliment puller, easy to wear, and as it dries down, I think it gets even better. So Pepe Jeans, really worth checking out, especially considering that you can sometimes find that for like 20 bucks. After that, let's go to Afnan's 9 a.m. Dave. 9 a.m. Dave. This is a flanker of 9 p.m., which is an ultramall kind of scent, but this is not that. No, this is morning time and you're in the ocean. What does that smell like? Kind of like Yves Saint Laurent Y mixed with bits of Bleu de Chanel. In actuality, this is kind of a blue fragrance doing its own thing. Again, I don't think it smells exactly like any other blue fragrance out there, but you can say that it draws inspiration from some of the more popular blue scents out there. It has lemon, blackcurrant, and mint off the top, super fresh initially, and it doesn't go overly sweet, which I love. Then you have some apple in there, some ginger as well, some woody notes. So it's a fragrance that I think has amazing, once again, versatility, like we've talked about with some of these other ones. If it went overly sweet, it would lose some of that versatility, but it keeps things very fresh, very masculine and modern. And this is one where the price has fluctuated a little bit. When it first came out, it was actually not really affordable, all things considered, for an Afnan, because you don't expect for, you know, a 9 p.m. flanker to be super expensive, right? But when it first launched, it was a little bit pricier. But here lately, the price has come down to the point where it becomes a great cheap pickup. Some stores will have this right around $30. You know, you'll find it 30 to 35, and that sounds a lot better than 7. From there, Missoni Parfum, and this one, you don't want to get a tester. Don't be like me. Your bottle will look like this. I know, a cap isn't everything, but sometimes it really helps. A capless tester bottle, how depressing, especially when you consider that the cap is magnetic. So Missoni Wave is the one in this line that gets a little bit more hype, and while we're talking Missoni, I'm gonna say once again, Missoni! Can we get a new one? Come on, what's the deal? We got Missoni Parfum, we got Missoni Wave, and then we got Missoni, I guess, go F yourself. That's what they're telling us. So if anybody over there in Missoni is listening, come on. But anyway, Missoni Wave is the one that gets all the hype, right? And it's a good cheapie too. Really solid, great for summertime. But this one is also really, really good, and usually even cheaper than Missoni Wave. It has similarities to Bleu de Chanel. So in a way, you could think of this as your cheapy Bleu de Chanel. If you like that scent profile, but you don't want to pony up Chanel prices, because let's be real here, Chanel is not super affordable, at least if you're somebody who's shopping at discounters, because Chanel ain't gonna get discounted. Chanel will sue you into the center of the earth if you try to put their stuff up at a discounter. Don't believe me? Ask Notino in the US. Oh wait, they don't exist in the US anymore. Yeah, like legitimately Chanel sued them. They were called Beauty Spin at the time, but still. Rest in peace. Everybody in Europe still has Notino though, so shout out you guys. But they deserve it, man. Europeans need some more discounters over there. From everything I see, like they don't have as good of a selection discounter-wise, but I could be wrong there. It's just, that's what I hear. I'm out of my depth here, guys. Okay, back to Missoni Parfum. This is really affordable at discounters. oftentimes right around 30 bucks. You might find a little bit more, a little bit less, but in that price range. The quality is good, presentation is good as long as you have your little magnetic cap, and it's gonna get you really close to Bleu de Chanel at a much, much lower price point. Really good stuff. And I would say, you know, as far as a lot of the Bleu de Chanel clones that have come out, some of them are okay, but a lot of them are frankly not. They're pretty bad. Like Armaf Tag Helm, I think is awful. And so if you were looking at some of those clones, maybe, you know, it's better off just to get Missoni Parfum, right? Because then you have something from an actual design house and a nice presentation with good quality, and it's not gonna cost you that much more. Let's go with another clone. This is an interesting looking one right here from Lattafa. This is All Nashama Caprice. Depending on where you look, I think some places have it listed as just Lattafa Caprice. And this is a clone of La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. And it's a newer release. It's not been out for that long. Like I said, presentation, you know, it's interesting looking, different looking. Don't mind it though, I gotta say. It looks pretty nice, all things considered. And it is a great, great alternative to Bleu Electrique, which in the US is still very expensive and pretty difficult to find unless you're just looking at like eBay, places like that. I mean, it has popped up here and there at discounters, but it looks like any time that, you know, it's come in stock, it's been like 10 bottles or something and sells out like that. So this will give you those Bleu Electrique vibes, only for much, much less. Basically take La Nuit de l'Homme, that cardamom, that, you know, really appealing opening, freshen it up, give it a blue fragrance twist. That's what you got. It's one that would work really well in the evenings in like warmer weather, spring, summer, early fall. Be a great date night fragrance, night out fragrance, because it still has that La Nuit de l'Homme kind of feel to it, right? Which is really well known for being a good date night fragrance. And yes, it has a little bit of a fresher tinge to it, twist to it, but it's not as fresh as like any of these. So this one, yeah, you can wear it during the day, don't get me wrong, but I think that during the evening, this may be one of the best of all the ones we're gonna talk about. From there, we hop over to Chrome Extreme. Chrome has a lot of fragrances in that line that are really affordable when we're talking discounters. And this one is gonna get you a similar vibe to Acqua di Gio Profondo. And Profondo from discounters, not really affordable. I mean, it's not like insanely expensive or anything like that, but right now, a lot of people are not looking to spend big bucks on fragrances, or if they're making a purchase, they'd rather get a number of different things that don't cost as much. So something like this comes in really handy because it's, you know, again, in that $30 price range, and it's gonna get you something very similar to Profondo, only less than half the cost, really. And it's not like Azzaro is an unknown house, right? It's not like some fragrance house nobody's ever heard of. It's Azzaro. It's maybe not as massive as Armani or Versace or some of the other more well-known fragrance brands out there, but still. I actually really, really enjoy this one a lot. I thought about putting Chrome Eau de Parfum in this list because I do feature Chrome Extreme more often, but I just went with Chrome Extreme. I like it more. I think it smells better. So this one has a pretty simple note breakdown. It's green mandarin off the top. You've got marine notes, aquatic notes in there, juniper and cashmere, and then I think amber is the other note. So pretty simple, you know. But yeah, it's got a nice fresh opening, very clean. The marine notes that are in there, they don't have any seaweedy type vibes to it, so really easy to wear basically anywhere when it's warm out. So great choice on the cheap, really like that one. And like I said, Chrome in general, bunch of really cheap fragrances there. Chrome Aqua is good. Chrome Eau de Parfum is good. I just think Extreme's better. Chrome Pure is an interesting fragrance. It's like actually pretty unique, all things considered, and wearable as well. And then just the original Chrome. I mean, you could go with that if you want. Okay, L'Homme Roque is up next. Big Roque. This one right here, you got like 25 bucks. I think 25, 30 on that one. Just kind of pulling these out of my head from the last time that I looked them up. So my pricing could be off by a little bit, but this one is really cheap. And L'Homme Roque has always reminded me a little bit of K from Dolce & Gabbana. K Eau de Toilette, to be a little more specific. Now, I'm not telling you this is like, you know, a spot on one-to-one of K. It's not a clone or anything like that. It's just the vibes behind it, the feel behind it as a blue fragrance reminds me more of what K does than, for example, Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel or Y or something like that. Because it has this sort of like fuzziness to it and more of an aromatic feel to it, done in a similar vibe to what K does. So that's really why. Really nice opening to it, fruity, sweet, very appealing. This one I think is better suited for spring than a lot of the other fragrances here, but since it is a blue fragrance, realistically wear it whenever you want. And for the price point, I think it's a great deal. In general, again, Rochas, kind of like Azzaro with their chrome line, pretty affordable from discounters. So Mustache, Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, those aren't blue fragrances, but those are really affordable and nice. You've got this one, you've got Aromatic Touch, the flanker to this one. And then Rochas Man, also cheap. Okay, this next one is the most expensive fragrance here. And so I didn't know if this would be considered cheap enough. So I'm gonna have a bonus one at the end. But this is Hawas from Rasasi. And a lot of the time, this one is like 49 bucks, 49.50. Sometimes you can get it less, but a lot of times when it is less, like say Fragrance Buy gets it in and they have it for, I don't know, 35 or something, it'll sell out. And then the other stores will have it in that closer to 50 range. So I know 50 is not really expensive when you compare it to like what stuff is going for at retail, right? But 50 is more expensive than 25 or 30, so I guess it's all relative. Hawas is really well known for smelling similar to Invictus or Invictus Aqua. It has that bubblegum sweetness, but it is very fresh. And I think for a lot of people, Hawas, with the twist that it's made on the Invictus style DNA, actually works better for people as far as compliments, wearability, than even Invictus, the original. Now, Hawas Ice is also really good, and I prefer the smell of Hawas Ice personally, just a little bit over Hawas, but Hawas Ice is not affordable. Most places still have that for like $70 or more. So yeah, I can't really feature that. So if you're on a budget, I think Hawas is the better move, the better buy, because yeah, Hawas Ice has changed things up a little bit, freshened things up a little bit, but it's not something where it's like worth losing sleep over. Okay, Jimmy Choo is up next. Jimmy Choo Man. Jimmy Choo Man. I'm wearing that Jimmy Choo. Hey, Jimmy Choo Man, that's good stuff, dude. Hell yeah, man. Oh, that's a good atomizer. Let's go. I pull up. It does have a good atomizer though, you see that? Ooh, the best one here, I believe it is. Yes, sir. Jimmy Choo wins the Best Atomizer Award. Good job, Jimmy Choo. Wow, you did it. So Jimmy Choo Man smells a little bit similar to Coach for Men. Like those are a little bit similar in a lot of ways, actually. Jimmy Choo Man is also a top 40 bestseller as far as men's fragrances go. Coach sells better, but this still does well. From discounters, this is also very affordable, and they're both fragrances you would use in a lot of the same times. And they also have a similar color scheme. A lot of similarities. Oh, and I think they were also done by the same perfumer. Yeah, a lot of similarities. Jimmy Choo Man is not quite as sweet as Coach for Men. Coach for Men has a little more of a sweet pop when you first spray it on. This one has more of like a modern, woody, fizzy opening with a bit of sweetness from fruit in there, but like I said, just not quite as much. I think between Jimmy Choo and Coach, that the Coach smells maybe a little bit smoother overall, but Jimmy Choo Man is still a fantastic, everyday, versatile fragrance. People do love the smell of Jimmy Choo Man, absolutely. The drawback for this one is gonna be the performance. Now you can overlook that because, again, the presentation is good. The brand has cachet. People know Jimmy Choo. It's cheap. It's a big compliment puller. The atomizer is great, but the performance is So obviously you can make up for that by spraying more on, by refreshing throughout the day. If you wanted to, you could like do a decant of it and take it with you if you like really, really take your stuff serious. But I can overlook that because it don't cost much. All right, here's the bonus. I dropped it. I begin as a mess. I finish as a mess. Aqua Essentiale Blue is the final fragrance. And I do want to say that I thought about putting Dylan Blue in here from Versace. That would also be a really good choice. The only reason I didn't is because I have had that in a few videos here recently, so I decided to give that one a rest. So Aqua Scentsy LA Blue, this one is a bit different than the other ones that we featured so far. It's got lavender in there, tonka, citrus. The overall makeup of the scent is not anything that's never been done before, but it is really appealing. And this is a blue fragrance that has enough freshness that you can wear it during the day when it's warm outside, you know, middle of summer. But it also has like a different side to it as well as it starts to dry down. So that tonka that comes out, it gives it a very nice sweetness, a nice warmth, some depth to the fragrance that would make it work really well in the evening or on a date potentially, especially if we're talking, you know, summertime in the evening. It'd be great for that. And also for a cheap blue fragrance, it's got pretty good longevity, lasts a decent amount of time. Projection is okay as well. So you once again get a lot of bang for your buck. And it's not a fragrance that is super popular, so not a whole bunch of people are gonna be wearing it. So a nice little blue scent to add to your arsenal. So there we go, guys. These are some fantastic blue fragrances that will cost you very little, assuming you shop at discounters. If you go buy, you know, Missoni or Coach or Jimmy Choo or the Azzaro at full retail, I can't help you. It's not really a budget fragrance at that point. But the vast majority of these you can find for $35 or less. Thank you guys, stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.